Welcome back to the voice of Alabama politics. Our very special guest today is Lynda Blanchard. She's running for the U.S. Senate from Alabama. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on. With all protocol, I should call you Madam Ambassador, but you've told me I should call you Lyndy.
I'm Lyndy. I'm back in the state of Alabama, and I have a twin sister, Cindy, and this is home.
Yeah. Well, we are glad you're back, and what an honor it must be to represent the United States, especially in Slovenia, the home of the former First Lady, Melania Trump. I mean, that had to be an exciting experience.
It was an amazing experience. I have so many stories that I could spend all day.
Well, you and I were talking beforehand, and you were talking about what it was a surprise that President Trump picked you to be an ambassador, and what an honor that was.
Yes. So 2 weeks after the election, I received a phone call. So I was recruited, basically, which was a surprise.
Yeah. You know, you've worked behind the scenes in politics some, but especially in helping children and helping others. Could you give us just, our viewers would love to know about your background, where you come from. I know you're a native here, where you come from and what you've been doing with your life.
So I was born and raised in Montgomery and lived in the state of Alabama my whole life until I became ambassador and served for President Trump in Europe. And that was a gift and a blessing to do that. But I attended Jeff Davis High School and worked after school at Bonanza Restaurant as a waitress, and got married early and couldn't afford to go to school. So my husband went to school first, and then I went second after we paid off his student loan, and I didn't get my degree until I was 32, and I got my degree in mathematics and computers. So I say I'm a mathematician, not a politician.
Ah, good. You and your husband both have been very successful, but you've used your success to help others. Could you share with us how you've done that?
We started our for-profit business right after I graduated, and it was successful. And 12 years into the business, our oldest son passed away. And when that happened, I stepped back, and we stepped back as a family to try and decide what were next steps. And we just decided to focus on others and be that blessing for others. And we started a charity to help children in the state of Alabama, so the least of these, and to help children abroad on adoption policies, Hague accreditation, and things like that. So we just jumped in with both feet.
You know, when I first heard that you were running for office, there was a lot of math that made some sense. You were close in the Trump administration. You had a base to run from. You had some financial resources to run from. And you had a close, President Trump had you down you were down at Mar-a-Lago and had a fundraiser, and he was attended. But then all of a sudden, Mo Brooks got the president's endorsement. How has that been for you?
So I'll tell you that the president is such a gentleman that he called me actually the day before he did it.
Okay.
To let me know that he had made that commitment prior, and that he was going to endorse Mo the next day. I actually was down at Mar-a-Lago the day after he endorsed Mo and was with the president then as well. So he's my friend, and he'll continue to be that friend. And he made a commitment, and that's why we love him, because he was able to accomplish so many things as president. And with all of his commitments, he sticks to them.
That's fair. That's fair. It's sometimes endorsements mean a lot, and other times they don't. The president's presence here in Alabama certainly is well received. But again, everybody has to run on what they are going to do for the people of Alabama, I believe. If you are elected, what are some of the things, maybe 3 things, that you feel would be your priorities in the Senate?
Certainly what the president started, let's finish. Finish the MAGA agenda, finish the MAGA agenda and finish the MAGA agenda.
Okay.
So, and in that, we all know what it is. It's things like borders, finish the wall, and just the America First initiative in general, putting America first and Alabama first and being sure that we have a future for the next generations. You know, I have 8 children, 6 living on earth and 2 in heaven, and I want my children and your family and my family to have a wonderful future.
Right. Well, I think sometimes in politics, it becomes the politics of subtraction by tearing our opponents down, and that's just part of the business. You have a well-known opponent in Congressman Mo Brooks, and he's either well-liked or not liked at all.
Yes.
Katie Britt, she's somewhat known from her time in Business Council of Alabama. She also was the former chief of staff to Richard Shelby. These are, I would imagine, formidable candidates. But having spent some time with you, I can attest that I don't think that you lack any stamina or any grit to get the job done. So how do you position yourself against those or contrast with those candidates?
Well, it's very different. So Mo Brooks is a 40-year career politician, and Katie Britt is, she's that candidate that is the former lobbyist and a registered lobbyist. And so that's very different. They're insiders. I'm the outsider. I'm the only outsider in the race. I'm the only one that won't be beholden to anyone when I walk into D.C., and I'll be able to vote how everyone in Alabama wants me to vote.
Well, I was thinking about what you said, and it's, you know, when you look at Mr. Brooks, he is running as an outsider, but you can't have been in politics for 40 years and claim to not be a creature of the swamp. But that's what we have, right? It's DC double talk.
Yeah. So professional double talk.
If you could sum up your campaign for our viewers, tell me what is your underlying principle that drives you to win this election?
I can tell you, as ambassador, I served under President Trump in working abroad with the America First initiative abroad. We focused on NATO 2% and getting that funding in Slovenia, working with European Command and getting cybersecurity at a high level. I came back as ambassador to Redstone because we had defense money to spend and wanted to keep Alabama products in the forefront here and abroad. So I'll be that voice for Alabama that can sell Alabama and give the opportunity that I had growing up here in Alabama to everyone.
Well, we want to wish you all the best, and thank you for joining us, and I hope you'll come back often.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Our guest today has been Lynda Blanchard. She's running for the U.S. Senate. We'll be right back with more news and opinion.